वन्दे गुरुपदद्वन्द्वम् अवाङ्मनसगोचरम् रक्तशुक्लप्रभामिश्रम् अतर्क्यम् त्रैपुरम् अहः विशुद्धिज्ञानदेहाय त्रिवेदी दिव्यचक्षुषे श्रेयः प्राप्तिनिमित्ताय नमः सोमार्धधारिणे नमो यामिनीनाथरेखालङ्कृत कुन्तलाम् भवानीं भवसन्तापनिर्वापण सुधानदीम्
यस्सारस्वतसिद्धये शुद्ध सर्वोद्भावलसति वाच्यवाचकात्मा काश्मीरो जयति जगद्धितावतारः स श्रीमान् अभिनवगुप्तदेशिकेन्द्रः अमृतेश्वर्यम्बा समेत अमृतानन्दनाथ श्रीगुरुः सर्वकारणभूता शक्तिः मत्पूर्वं सम्भाषितवद्भ्यां गुरुसमाभ्यां गुरुपुत्राभ्यां मम प्रणामाः। विविध गुरुमण्डल समुद्भव उपासक संघाय अपि मम विनयनतिः। विद्वत्सभायां मम लघुमतिः निवेदयितुं दत्तावकाशः अहं महत्सौभाग्यं श्रीगुरोः आशीप्रसादमिति मेने। अद्य अस्मिन् अवसरे सर्वे मन्त्राः शिवात्मकाः इति विषयं विन्यस्य मम लघुप्रवचनेन उपस्थास्ये। चर्चायां वयं मन्त्रस्वरूपं, तेषां तात्विकं विश्लेषणं च समयानुसारं किञ्चित् अवलोकयिष्यामः। तत्र परमशिवः एव प्रकाशविमर्शात्मना निजावंशौ विभज्य कामेश्वरः कामेश्वरी भूत्वा वाचकपक्षे मातृकारूपेण, वाच्यपक्षे च षट्त्रिंशत् तत्त्वात्मकं स्वरूपम् अवलम्बते इति सर्वे वयं जानीमः। अहमेव विषयम् अधिकृत्य भगवता उक्तं सर्वे वर्णात्मकाः मन्त्राः ते च शक्त्यात्मकाः प्रिये, शक्तिस्तु मातृका ज्ञेया सा च ज्ञेया शिवात्मिका इति तन्त्रसद्भावे प्रतिपादितरीत्या प्रत्येकवर्णः मन्त्रस्वरूपः भवति, शक्तिरूपः च भवति। तस्मात् सर्वे मन्त्राः शिवात्मकाः विमर्शशक्तेः स्फुट आविर्भावाः इति प्रतिपादितम् अत्र अस्ति। तत्र एकः विषयः अस्माभिः मनसि ध्येयः अस्ति तन्त्र आगम अनुयायिनां, यत् अस्माकं तन्त्रमते अन्यदर्शन अपेक्षया, सांख्यादि अन्यदर्शन अपेक्षया उत्तराशि विषये काचित् अन्या रीतिः प्रतिपादिता अस्ति। तत्र तावत् वर्णाः केवलं सांकेतिकध्वनयः न, परन्तु तेषु मूलभूतेषु विश्वसंस्थायाः, शरीरसंस्थायाः संघटकाः, संस्थापकाः, संहारकाः च सर्वे शक्तयः स्वरूपेण निहिताः सन्ति। एकस्मिन् पक्षे ते वर्णाः एव कामक्रोधलोभादयः उत्पद्यन्ते, येन मनुष्यात्मा स्वार्थपरः संकुचितः च भूत्वा शिवात् पशुत्वं प्राप्य आत्मदृष्ट्या उदाहरणं मुक्तं च कर्तुमपि एते एव वर्णाः समर्थाः सन्ति। वस्तुतः एते वर्णाः ज्ञानविज्ञानयोः कुञ्चिकाः इति आचार्य अभिनवगुप्तः परात्रिशिका विवरणे उल्लिख्यते यत् अमूला तत्क्रमाज्ञेया क्षान्ताः सृष्टिरुदाहृताः सर्वेषामेव मन्त्राणां विद्यानां च यशस्विनी इयं योनिः समाख्याता स्वतन्त्रेषु हि सर्वदा इति। अधुना सभाध्यक्ष अनुमत्या अहं बहुजनानां हितार्थाय आङ्ग्लभाषयां मम भाषणं प्रस्तौमि, यत्र संकल्पितविषयविवरणं कर्तुम् उत्सहे। What we want try to do in this particular small talk is to establish threefold form and function of the mantra. So we to start with the first, which is pure awareness. So in its most subtle and transcendent state, Parāśiva exists as the non-dual source. In the sense, he is the pure self-luminous Chiti, in whom the Vimarsha Shakti, or the self-reflectivity, is an integrated, not separated. It's an integrated element within. And this is described as Antarlīna Vimarsha, which is internalized and undivided awareness. So when this pure consciousness turns towards manifestation, Srishti Unmukhata, it does so through a kind of a vibrant trembling, which is called as the sphurttā or the Ācārya, which is the beginning of the expression, the prakashatva. And from the rays, that is the Rashmi Punja of Parāśiva, and this is because of his Svātantrya Shakti, Parāśiva's Svātantrya Shakti. So this vibrant awareness becomes a self-revealing mirror, the mirror of the Vimarsha. And in this mirror arises the first recognition of self, which is the aham buddhi or the pūrṇa ahaṁtā. And it is within this ahaṁtā where the Ahaṁtā represents the absolute, the anuttara Shiva tattva. The Ācārya represents the Shakti tattva. So within the Ācārya and Ācārya, the entire, using the Pratyahara Nyaya, the entire prapancha, the entire tattvas are encapsulated. So together, A and Ha is, or they form what we call as the Ekakshara Vidya, the Mūla Praṇava, the Praṇava of all the Praṇavas. We know that there are several Praṇavas. There is a Vaidika Praṇava, Shakta Praṇava, Shaiva Praṇava, but this is the Mūla Praṇava. And in the Tāṇḍya Brahmana also, we have one Tāṇḍya Brahmana Shruti which says Eko Varno Bahuda Shakti Yogat Varnan Anekan Nihitartho Dadhati. It is this one Ham as a syllable by union of its own Shakti gives rise to all the other phonemes, all the other sounds. And each of these carries specific meanings. So it is, we can say with assertion that it is Parāśiva, the Supreme, who manifests in the form of the matrikas and the mantras. And these mantras are actually a kind of an upāyātmakaha mantra. That is, they are the efficacious means. So in light of this truth, it is important to know that something which is merely uttered in its essence, in its deepest sense, cannot be raised to the level of being called as a mantra. Because the true referent or the vachya of the word mantra is the imperishable, the avyaya Shakti. And the mantra which is devoid of this mantra virya becomes ineffectual. Ācārya Abhinavagupta uses an analogy of Sharad Abhravad, that is like a cloud in an autumn yielding no rain. He says, Uccaryamanaha ye mantraha, no mantraha, chapi tat viduhu, mantranam jiva bhuta tu ya smrta shaktihi avyaya, taya hinaha vararohe, nishphala Sharad Abhravad. So, that which is, or that which brings about this contemplative realization, that which leads to this Atma Sakshatkara, the salvific protection. And this mantra serves as the means, the upāya, for attaining the supreme reality, which is the upeya, the paratattva. So, and again, is there a difference between the two? No. Because in truth, it is Supreme Parameshwara who alone is the object to be attained, the upeya, and he also is the one who shines forth in the forms of the means, the upāya also. So in the Svacchanda Udyota, Ācārya Kṣemarāja, he says, mantraha api antargupta bhāshanatmaka parāmarsha satvena māṇana trāṇa dharma paratattva prapti upāyaha parameshatma eva Parameshwaraha eva hi upeya padavat upāya rūpataya sphuritaha. So it is Parameshwara who is both the upeya and he is the upāya also. So from this passage of Svacchanda Udyota, we see that the mantra possesses two essential qualities. One is the contemplation, the māṇana, and the second is the protection, the trāṇa. So what is protection? Protection is explained not at the worldly level, but protection is explained as the inner resonance of the intuition, the parāmarsha of the supreme vibration of the Parananda or the Parāspuran. And to experience this limitless Svātantrya Shakti of Parameshwara is the true enjoyment of his majesty, the Parama Aishwarya. So this is the māṇana, and the cessation of the world, where the world ceases to exist as different from oneself as an experience. So the cessation of the duality in the experience is characterized by this. So this cessation of the sankochamayata, the Bheda Pratha, is what is referred to as the trāṇa. And very beautifully in the Mahārtha Manjari, we have a shloka where Maheshanandanatha says that Mananamayi Nija Bhave Nija Sankocamaye Trāṇamayi Avalita Vishwavikalpa Anubhutihi Kapi Mantra Shabdartha. So the true signification, the Shabdartha of the word mantra is that which is a lived realization through contemplative reflection and which fully absorbs and transcends the world of this vikalpa, of this differentiated possibilities. So this is the first function of the mantra. The second is the Cittam Māntra, about which Gita Mami had referred to in the opening remarks. So so this is the first is the Mahāmāntra or the mantra virya. The pūrṇa ahaṁtā vimarshanam is the Mahāmāntra aspect. And ordinarily, and then the second aspect is the Cittam Māntra, the mind which is cultivated to such an extent that it becomes completely oriented towards the supreme consciousness. Such a mind, such a chitta is mantra, because it is the one which is going to propel the complete cognitive shift of the sadhaka. And the third aspect of mantra is to see the mantra as the power essence of the sound forms, which we call as the varna bhattaraka rupa. So ordinarily a mantra is perceived as a specific configuration of the syllables. And the extraordinary powers which is associated with these syllables, the varnas, and their presiding deities, which we call as the varna bhattarakas, is actually established by Ācārya Kṣemarāja in the Śiva Sūtra Vimarshini, when he says Vidyayaha para advaya pratha shariram swarupam yasya saha vidya shariraha bhagavan shabdarashihi. So for us, the shabda or the mantra are conscious entities. Taya ya satta asesha ashesha vishwa abhedamaya pūrṇa aham vimarshanatma sphurttā. And since these mantras are constructed from these varnas, which are themselves a kind of an aggregated divine energies, they are endowed with inconceivable power, which Bhagavan Parashurama establishes beyond doubt in Kalpa Sutra when he says, Mantranam Achintya Shaktita. And why is this Achintya Shaktita? Because they are positioned, you will come to that very soon, they are positioned above the Maya Tattva. In the Tattva scheme, they are positioned above the Maya Tattva. Therefore, it becomes evident that the mantra is endowed with a potency which is greater than that of Maya itself. And in the Kalpa Sutra Vyakhya, we come across this statement by Rameshwara Suri. He says, Etena purva udita maya tarkya durvara tathapi tan nivarane samarthaha tatopi adhika shaktikaha mantreshu leelaya jnana avaraka avidya nivartakatva shaktihi asti iti pratipaditam. So, this is important to note that the understanding of the mantra and the Mahāmāntra we have at three levels. At the first level, we have the pūrṇa ahaṁtā vimarsha, which is actually in Vijnana Bhattaraka. He says, as the Shaivi mukham iha uchyate. That is, the pūrṇa aham is called as the Guru Mukha or the Guru Vaktara or Shaivi Mukha. The second is the form of mantra, which is the reflective mind. And the third is in the form of the Varna Bhattaraka. So, coming to the Vachya Vachaka aspect of it, the entire cosmos is bifurcated into two poles. We know either it is the grasping subject, the grahaka, or the grasped object, the grahya. So the grahana, the I, the ahaṁamsha, okay, of the chit shakti is the grahya, and is the grahaka, and the business or idanta is the grahya shakti. So any cognition takes place when there is a cognizer and an object which is cognized. So the cognizer is the aham amsha, and the cognized is coming from the idam amsha. So the Parāchit is the supreme cognizer, the Parama Pramata, whereas the Chitta or the Jiva, the contracted consciousness, is the limited cognizer. So what we recognize in the things, 7 levels of Pramata, which is important for us to know here. The 7 levels of Pramata, which is called a Sapta Pramatra Bhumika, that first is Shiva Pramata, then we have Mantra Maheshwara, then we have Mantreshwara, then we have the Mantra Pramata, then we have Vijnana Kevala, then we have Pralayakala, then we have Sakala. Totally 7 Pramatas. Shiva, Mantra Maheshwara, Mantreshwara, Mantra, Vijnanakala, Pralayakala, and Sakala. All the Baddha Jivas or the Pashus are Sakalas. Pralayakala is someone who has for its object the domain. Okay, at the time of the pralaya, that is the shunya. He is also called as a shunya pramata. Whereas vijnana kevala onwards, they are above the ashuddha. So the where do they lie? The mantra, the sakala pramata lies in the ashuddha adva. Shiva pramata is at the top, so let's not even discuss about Shiva pramata. The sakala pramata lies at the ashuddha adva. The Pralayakala also lies within the Ashuddha Adva, okay, within Maya at the time of the Pralaya. Vijnana Kala is slightly above the Shuddha Adva, whereas the other three, it's Mantra, Mantreshwara, and Mahāmāntreshwara, they are above the Mahamaya Tattva. So Mahamaya is an intermediate stage which is recognized by Ācārya Abhinavagupta, coming in between Shuddha Vidya and the Maya Tattva. So these three, Mantra, Mantreshwara, and Mantra Maheshwara, are above even the Mahamaya Tattva. So they are transcending the Maya Tattvas. And the class of the Sakala and the Pralayakala being in the Purva, that is, being in the impure, in the Ashuddha Adva, okay, whereas the mantra is in the Shuddha Adva. And this mantra Pramata is the one who is endowed only with the Anavamala. He is free from the Karmika and the Mayika Malas. Whereas the Sakala Pramata, all of us, we have all the three malas. We have the Anava, we have the Mayika, and we have the Karmika malas. So regarding the hierarchy of this thing, the Svacchanda Tantra says that Uttirna Maya Ambhudayaha Agna Karma Mahargalaha Aprapta Shivadhamana. That is the definition of the characteristics. That is, they are beyond Maya. Bhagna Karma Mahargalaha. That is, they don't have Mayika and the Karmika Malas. But they have only the Anavamala. Now, this Anavamala is also, as per the Agamas, it is called as the Adhikari Mala. What is Adhikari Mala? They are endowed with the Anavamala because of the supreme will of Shrikantha Rudra or Shiva. Because they have to have this Anavamala so that they can become the upāya for the Sakala to reach the Shiva Pramata. So they are functioning or they are fulfilling the salvic duty on behalf or upon the orders of Ishvara. So they hold on to the Anavamala because Anavamala is the one that which gives the identity. So within these three we saw that is the Mantra, Mantreshwara and Mantra Maheshwara. So Mantra Maheshwara is the Sadashiva Tattva level. Mantreshwara is at the Ishvara Tattva level. Whereas the mantra is at the Shuddha Vidya Tattva. And it is the Mantreshwara which we come across as the Vidyeshwaras. When we go to the temples, we come across the Ashta Vidyeshwara. Ananta, Sukshma, Shivottama, Ekanetra, Rudra. These are the Ashta Vidyeshwaras whom we call as the Mantreshwaras here. So once again, these mantras function both as an instrumental means, the sadhana in this moksha marga for the jiva uddhara, and they are doing it out of the anukampa of Shiva for us. So Svacchanda Tantra says that anugraham prakurvanti dehinam bhuvane sthitaha. These mantras are actually they are performing anugraha upon the sakalas. So the mantras are deities, they are conscious entities, not to be treated as mere Shabdarashi Samuha by us in our Sampradaya. So that is very, very important. And I'll just close within 3 or 4 minutes with a set of beautiful questions that Devi asks about mantra to Shiva in Netra Tantra. Devi has 6 questions, and we all know she is asking on behalf of us because we do not know how to speak. So, and until unless something is asked according to our tradition, the answer will not be given. Na prashtaha kasyachit bruya. So, she, out of her anukampa, is asking on our behalf. So, there are 6 questions she asks. Mantraha kimatmakaha deva, kim surupaha, kidrishaha, kim prabhavaha, katham shaktaha, kenava samprachoditaha. 6 questions. What is what constitutes the mantra? Kim Swarupa, what is their essential Swarupa? Do they have an Ācārya or they are Nirakara? Third, Kidrisha, is there a suitable analogy or a metaphor by which a mantra can be understood? Because if you want to understand something, we always go in our pedagogy from the known to unknown. So, is there something by which we will be able to understand any analogy possible? Fourth question, Kim Prabhavaha, what is their samarthya? What is their potency? Fifth question, Katham Shaktaha. So, if the mantras possess the ability to uh, bestow bhoga, moksha, dukkha, no, prashamana, and all these things, how is this samarthya attained by? So, if they are formless, okay, how can they possess power? So, all these things are implied in that question. The last question, Yenava samprachoditaha. By whom are the mantras activated? By whom are they impelled? Prerita, samprachoditaha. And for all these questions, Bhagavan answers in detail. And Ācārya Kṣemarāja in the Netra Udyota offers beautiful explanations. Bhagavan says, to answer the first question, Kimatmakaha Deva Mantraha, he says, mantras are Shivatmakaha because they are all pervasive, Vyapaka, and they are Amurta and formless. Okay. And they are also possessed of the Shaktiatmaka. And since they are endowed with the Anava, they also have the potency of the Anu. So they are actually called as Tri Tattvaja. The mantras constitute to have the three tattva. All the three tattva's essence is formed or is found in the mantra. Then the other questions are there. Last, Kenava Samprachoditaha. I think that is very important. What activates or what awakens? Bhagavan answers that they are activated by the sadhaka who is awakened by proper diksha. That's a word to be underlined. Proper diksha. And the devata of the mantra responds to this invocation, and the Śiva-Śakti of the mantra is activated. This is called the mantra jagarana. We also come across this term exactly in the Kunchika Stotra. So mantra jagarana takes place, and after this, the mantra becomes anugrahatmaka for the sadhaka. So without proper initiation, diksha, without proper activation, without proper samadhavadi sadhana on behalf of the sadhaka, the mantras do not become activated. So each mantra has its within itself the Vachya Shakti and the Vachaka Shakti. The Vachya Shakti is because of the Jyotirmaya, no, the radiance which is there, and the Vachaka Shakti, okay, is because of the Anupurvi of the letters, and the Jagarana of the Vachaka aspect, the leads to understanding the Vachya of the mantra. So only by proper prabodhana of the mantra becomes active. And Ācārya Abhinavagupta uses a very beautiful example of of a water wheel. So he says that just like a water wheel, okay, which is used to lift water from the lower to the higher, initiates the motion of the complex mechanical elements. After that, there is no further intervention required. Once it is set to motion, then it becomes automatic. Similarly, through the unbroken single pointed contemplation, ekanasandhana, the awakened mantra manifests and works wonder for the sadhaka. He says, Yatha Paraghatta Chakragra Khati Yantroga Vahanam Ekanasandhi Yatnena Cittam Yantrodayam Bhaje Ekanasandhana Bala Jayate Mantrodaye Anisham Tan Mantra Devata Yatna Tadatmyena Prasidati. So, a mantra is not merely a sound, it is a conscious entity of a form of Shiva. It's a bridge of energy where the sadhaka's intent, the mantra's latent Shakti, and the presence of the Devata converge into a single current of consciousness and power. So, Sarvesha Shri Puresha Tribhuvana Bhavana Vyaktaya Shaktayaste Anantadyaha Shri Paradyaha Niravadika Vibhavaha Matrikantaha Kshakantaha Vijñātāsyuhu Swarupe Yadi Shiva Guruna Vishwadrishya Prapancha Swatmajyotir Vilinān Vidadati Vidusho Yoginaha Saivam Iti Shri Krodhabhattara Mukhena Stutva अस्मिन् प्रवचने यद् ग्राह्यं यद् उचितं तत् श्री गुरोः लब्धभिक्षा यद्दोषयुक्तं यत्याज्यं तत् मम मतिविभ्रवजम् इति मत्वा महान्तः क्षन्तुमर्हन्ति इति प्रार्थ्य वाग्विरामं करोमि।